What's up, Marines? After watching the trailer and some gameplay of Alien Fireteam Elite 2, I'd like to say I'm very impressed and I want to go through and break down some of the things that I thought about it. So let's get into it.
If we don't find this guy alive, I'm gonna kill him.
Okay, guys, so I've spent a little bit of time looking over the trailer, the gameplay that's come out from IGN with our boy Ryan McCaffrey, the absolute dog-watered player. After watching it, a few things definitely stood out immediately. The atmosphere, for one. The new damage types are incredible. The story direction's really promising, I think. And the AI behavior of the xenomorphs. Absolutely terrifying. So let's break it down. First things first, I want to talk about the atmosphere. Right away you can tell that it's different. There's more horror going on, there's steam coming out of the vents, there's fog drifting across the floor, pockets of darkness, it feels like something could jump out at you at any time. And that's terrifying, especially in Aliens. I'd like to see them go a little bit further with this. I mean, a lot of this stuff is work in early progress, so none of it is set in stone. But I want more claustrophobia, more tight quarters, corridors, something that instills panic, right? That's where Alien is at its heart. That's what it is. You can tell that they're moving into this direction. There's a lot of tension building on purpose as they're moving through the mission. You can see that there's a lot of it's more of like a horror movie element. There's jump scares that they've got set up behind different areas, sealed doors, stuff that you wouldn't expect normally. You're just kind of doing your thing, and then boom, there's an alien in your face. Second thing, weapon sounds and damage types. For me, audio is almost more important than, graphics. Gameplay is obviously important, but I think sound is very important. A good comparison I have is with Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Like, when you shoot your bolters in that game, like, it sounds heavy, like, you feel powerful when you shoot those weapons, and I think that is very important, especially for a game like this. I do want to say that the weapons feel very punchy, and the new damage types, elemental to be exact, are very nice, and they add a lot of personality. The fire damage, it leaves the red embers burning on enemies. Cryo lets you freeze targets and shatter them. Electric gives you your slow, your CC ammo almost. Disrupts their movement, so that'd be good in hallways and you're holding off a door or whatever, right? And then you've got your piercing and morphic rounds they were talking about. I haven't used morphic, but apparently it's a fan favorite returning. Obviously the piercing, I'm thinking, will just cut through armor. And the morphic, like, if I had to guess, it would be like an adapting ammo, depending on what kind of enemy you're shooting at, which would be pretty wicked. I just don't remember using that in Fireteam 1. And also another big thing is they added a quality of life change to the selection tab wheel. Instead of having to hold tab and select it, you can now actually tap it and it'll just bring out your last used equipment, which is huge because I had many times where I got absolutely shit on during a horde rush and I'm trying to dick around and grab my med kit out of my tab because I'm holding it, and yeah, so that's it's a small change, but it is a big improvement. So that is nice. The third thing I want to talk about is arguably the biggest thing in the game for most people. For me, not as much, but 4-player co-op. It's here. It's in the game. It's coming. It's one of the most requested features. It totally changes the pacing and team dynamics, whether that's, setting up builds or team compositions for harder difficulties. That was a big thing in the first game. You only had 3 people, but at the same time, I feel like the enemies, there weren't enough, and it wasn't hard enough to warrant a 4th player. I feel like the game is leaning more into the Fireteam fantasy, which is what a lot of fans wanted. I think when the game first came out, people were kind of... 3 is a bit of a weird number, I think. For co-op shooters, even with Destiny, everybody was like, why the hell is Destiny only 3 people? You should at least have 4. And then even with Space Marine, 3 was kind of a like weird number. So the 4 was definitely hype, and I'm really looking forward to how that kind of changes up. And what I'm hoping for is that it actually makes the game more difficult. The scale is grander on hordes and bigger, harder enemies. I'm really hoping they bring a hardcore mode in again this time, but from launch in the first game that came out a little bit later. But yeah, so another big W for additions to the game. Fourth thing I want to talk about is the story and the setting. Now, in the first game, the story was notorious for being like pure, like nobody gave a shit about it. Well, maybe some people did care, but for me personally, definitely did not give two shits. But in this game, you can definitely tell the developers were going over kind of like the brief story. I'm not gonna like say much about it if you want to watch it. The video's on IGN, but basically they are leaning more into a story-sided game. Like the prologue is based off Hadley's Hope, which is pretty sweet, and the game takes place 5 years after the first one, so it's not like this huge disconnect between games where it's like 20 years in the future, so nobody cares. So that's good. They're bringing back a bunch of characters from the first game. Like I said, I'm pretty like I don't know who the hell. I know the main characters, but more lore on stuff. They're rebuilding the cast based on some of the characters from the first one. So who knows? Like it might be a good thing, them getting some time in the sun to flesh out their characters and whatnot. But yeah, if it ain't Ripley, I don't give a damn. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like it could be a good thing because it makes the gameplay more emotional depending on what happens if you have characters dying or whatever, right? People getting abducted, it gives you more urgency to go save that person, etc., right? So yeah, they're definitely leaning into more of a narrative side than just trying to have a background flavor campaign where it's just there. And the final thing, probably my most anticipated, and that is this even more than 4-player co-op, I would say. And that's the Xenos and the Behavior. Man, these things look terrifying from what I saw in the videos. Like they're dipsy doodling, bobbing, weaving back and forth. Like the warrior, like he's dodging, he's sporadic, he's sprinting in different directions. And in the first game, like you would see one and they would literally just run in a straight line at you like a train, and there was just no urgency, right? So that was really awesome to see. I was really excited about that. They have the new one that was teased in the trailer, which is the Warden. It's this massive hulking beast, and the way to kill it is you got to get around it or like shoot it from different angles, I guess, to get past its armor, which makes sense. Well, the little Xenos, they can cower in fear if maybe they see like a bigger, like a warrior or Praetorian or something's killed around them, which is really cool because in the first game they were just literally like bots, like they just straight ahead training forward. There was no like personality of the aliens. So that I think is really cool. Like, I mean, for some people it might just be like whatever, but I don't know. For me, like these little things, they really add to the whole atmosphere. And again, that's like one of my favorite things about Aliens is just the atmosphere in general and how the game feels when you're in that universe. And then the spitters are back. Those things, I hate those things so much, but they're one of the only enemies that gives you any kind of ranged pressure. So obviously needed to get you to move around and whatnot. And yeah, these changes are gonna make the fights and the encounters a lot less predictable, and they're gonna make them feel like different every time. And I think that's super important for a game like this, where it's all about replayability. Yeah, so honestly, lots of good stuff coming. And yeah, to close it out, I'm really excited with the direction. It feels like it's strong. The atmosphere is really good from what I've seen. The damage types add a lot of depth. The co-op, 4-player co-op, opens things up a lot with team builds, comps, Hopefully the game is harder, like I said. And the enemy behavior, that alone is just, the AI improvements is just, it's all I could ask for. So I'm very, very happy in what I've seen. There's still a lot of. Hopefully, we're gonna get a release date at some point in the next couple weeks. I thought it was gonna come out in Summer Games Fest, but unfortunately not. But we got a lot of other good announcements, so I can't be too upset about that. Next time we get a video or any kind of information, I'll be sure to make a video on it. And this is definitely, from what they've shown so far, it's a good start. This is Xeno Pulse, and I'll see you in the next drop.